Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. How are you? So, today I came with a science topic which is very interesting and also a little bit confusing because it contains a lot of structures, lot of parts, and each part has many type of functions also. So before going into the lesson, we have already learned that things around us are either living or non-living. So further, you may recall that all living organisms carry out certain basic functions. So different sets of organs perform the various functions. Each organ doesn't perform the same function. Each organ, each part of the organ has different type of functions. So in this chapter you shall learn about the basic structural unit of an organ, which is the cell. So let's start. Let us learn about the cell very clearly from the discovery. So who discovered, when he discovered, how it was when it was discovered. The first question, who discovered and in which year? Robert Hooke in 1665 observed slices of cork under a simple magnifying device. So the discovery of cell was done by Robert Hooke. He was an Englishman and he was born in the year 1635, and he was he was examining a slice of cork. Cork means a part of bark of a tree. Okay. He took that and kept under the microscope and he was just observing it. So what he observed? He noticed partitioned boxes or compartments in the cork slice. So you can see in this pic down, I kept a pic of the real first when it was discovered. How was it? So these are the cork cells which were observed by Robert Hooke. So you can see some partitioned boxes in this, small. So he noticed that one at the first. And how was that? How was that partitioned box? It was like honeycomb. Okay, honeycomb like compartments. So he also noticed that one box was separated from the other by a wall or partition. Okay, it was partitioned because to be separated, so that it can be a wall or it can be anything that partitioned these boxes. So what did Hooke name it this partitioned boxes? He coined the term as cell for each box. So he called these compartments as cell. So cells of living organisms could be only observed after the discovery of improved microscopes. So if we want to know more about living organisms cells, that time there were no improved microscopes to observe that organisms, but now we are getting improved microscopes so that we are able to observe the cells of living organisms. Okay, and what are these cells? What Hooke observed as boxes or cells in the cork, they were actually dead cells. Okay, not live cells, they were dead cells. Okay friends, so let us go to the next topic. Cell. First of all, what is cell? Before going to what is cell, let us see why I have kept this pic here. So what you can see in the first picture, we can see some bricks, and in the second picture we can see buildings. So what is the link between brick and building? Bricks are assembled to make a building, and down in the place of bricks I kept cells, and in the place of buildings I kept living organisms. So you should imagine cells as bricks and living organisms as building. What you know here? Similarly, cells are assembled to make the bodies of living organisms. Okay, bricks are assembled and they make building. Cells are assembled to make organisms. Okay friends, that's it. So let us see the next topic. The cell. Definition of the cell. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of a living organism. You have to learn this definition. It's very, very important. Okay, what is it? Let me repeat. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of a living organism. So why I kept brick wall and onion peel? When you see these two pics, they are similar to each other. You can see here brick wall made with bricks, and here onion peel. We have cells of onion peel. So they are looking very, very similar here. That's what we are comparing the bricks with cells. So there are millions of living organisms. They are of different shapes and sizes. Their organs also vary in shape, size and number of cells. Let us study about some of them. Number of cells. So, organisms may be composed of one cell or of many cells. And organisms made of more than one cell are called multicellular organisms. Multi means many. Cellular means cell. Many cells, multicellular. Examples of multicellular organisms are human beings, animals and plants also. Okay, mostly all human beings, animals and plants are multicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms, they have similar types of cells and they are grouped together to perform particular functions. Okay, they are similar to each. Okay, and different cells carry out different functions. And organisms made of only one cell are called unicellular organisms. Uni means one, cellular means cell. And examples of unicellular organisms are amoeba, paramecium, euglena, bacteria, etc. So in unicellular organism, a single cell performs all vital activities such as feeding, movement, respiration, reproduction. So this single cell can exist independently. Because it is having only one cell, it has to perform all the activities. Shape of cells. So amoeba has no definite shape unlike other organisms. It's keeping on changing. So different cells carry out different functions and they also exist in different shapes. They can be round, spherical, disc shaped, polygonal, rectangular, branched, or even they can be irregular also. So the shape of a particular cell depends on the specific function it performs. Every cell performs different functions, so there is a difference in their shape also. Okay, and a white blood cell is another example of single cell which can change its shape. And you can see three cells here. Let me say. Some cells are long and pointed at both ends. Cells sometimes are quite long. Some are branched like the nerve cell. So in the first picture you can see some red cells. They are RBCs. RBCs means red blood cells. In the next pic we have muscle cells. Muscle cells, what do? They help in movement through contraction and expansion. So they are thin and long. Nerve cells. What do nerve cells do? They carry messages between different parts of the body to the brain or spinal cord. And hence they are elongated in shape. Size of the cells. The cells have sizes, so mostly they are from microscopic and cannot be seen with the naked eye, most cells. And the cells of living organisms may be as small as a millionth of meter, which is known as micrometer. Micrometer means a millionth of meter, or maybe as large as a few centimeters. So the smallest cells are bacteria, which generally range in size from 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer. Micrometer means millionth of a meter. Smallest cell is bacteria. If we have smallest, we also have largest. The largest cell is the egg of an ostrich, which is measuring in 170 millimeters into 130 millimeters. Okay, 170 millimeter is the diameter. And however, nerve cells are believed to be the longest cells in the human body. And the size of cells has no relation with the size of the body of the animal or plant. You can see an example of cells in the elephant. Elephant is much bigger than rat. So it is not necessary that all the cells in the elephant should be bigger than those in rat. Elephant also may have small cells, rat also may have big cells. It is not necessary to think like that. And the size of cell is related to its function. Okay. Structure and functions of the cell. So you have learned that each living organism has many organs. You have studied that about digestive system. So each organism in that digestive system performs different functions. Example, what we have: assimilation, digestion, absorption, etc. So similarly, like we have in digestive system, we also have in plants, like roots help in absorption of water, leaves make food for the plant, and each organ is made up of tissue, so that we are performing these type of activities. So what is tissue? Tissue is a group of similar cells performing a specific function. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Parts of the cell, also known as cell organelles. So the basic components of cell. What are the basic components of cell? This is the important point. Cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. These three are the basic components of the cell. So though cells may differ in shape and size, all of them have the same basic structure. A cell contains both living and non-living parts. Okay, and these three are the main parts of any type of cell. Cell membrane. The cytoplasm and nucleus are enclosed within the cell membrane, also called the plasma membrane. The membrane separates cells from one another and the cell from the surrounding medium. The plasma membrane is porous and allows the movement of substances or materials both inward and outward. So a cell membrane is the outermost covering of a cell which protects the cell from other cells, and it is porous membrane, which is also known as plasma membrane. So we have a function of cell membrane that it allows the movement of substances in and out of the cell. Okay, and so cell wall, I said that it is the outermost covering of cell, that is in animals. So in plants we also have cell wall. A cell wall is a structural layer found in plant cell just outside the cell membrane. It can be tough, flexible and sometimes rigid. It provides the cell with both structural support and protection and acts as a filtering mechanism. So friends, plant cells have an additional layer outside the cell membrane that is known as cell wall. So the cell wall is made up of cellulose and it is tough and rigid and also flexible. It gives shape to the plant cell, and animal cells lack the cell wall. They don't have cell wall. Cytoplasm. It is the jelly-like substance present between the cell membrane and the nucleus. Various other components or organelles of cells are present in the cytoplasm. Examples like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes, etc. So, cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance which is present within the cell membrane, and it is the site for most of the cell's chemical reactions. So, it is present within the cytoplasm, and there are several living membrane bound bodies that have definite shape and functions called cell organelles. So cell organelles are present in cytoplasm only. Some of these cell organelles examples are mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes, and we are going to learn more in this video. First one, nucleus. So when we talk about nucleus, we also have parts in nucleus. So let us talk about parts in the next slide. First, let us see what is nucleus. It is an important component of the living cell. It is generally spherical and located in the center of the cell. It can be stained and seen easily with the help of a microscope. The nucleus can be thought of as the cell's headquarters. The nucleus sends out messages to say the cell to grow, divide or die. So the nucleus is also known as cell's headquarter or the brain of the cell. So it is a spherical body which is surrounded by a double membrane, and it is known as nuclear membrane, which we will learn now. And it is in the center of the cell. It sends out messages and it will say the cell to grow or divide, or it says to die also. It can easily be seen with the help of a microscope. I said we have parts of nucleus also, so we should learn about them also. So nucleus has 4 parts: chromatin, nucleolus, nuclear pores, nuclear envelope. Nuclear membrane. The nuclear envelope, also known as the nuclear membrane, encloses the nucleus and nucleolus. The nuclear membrane is composed of a phospholipid bilayer with many pores, small holes, that allow RNA. RNA means ribonucleic acid, and other materials to enter and exit the nucleus. The many pores in the nuclear envelope allow it to decide what enters and exits the nucleus. So, it is a double membrane called nuclear membrane. It is also known as nuclear envelope, and it is composed of phospholipid bilayer with many holes, and it allows RNA, ribonucleic acid, and many other materials to enter and exit the nucleus. Nucleolus. The nucleolus is located inside the nucleus. It is surrounded by the nuclear envelope. The nucleolus is a dense region in the nucleus composed of DNA, RNA and proteins. The nucleolus makes ribosomes. This is a very important job inside the cell. So, we have one or more rounded granules called nucleolus. It is very important for protein synthesis inside the cell. So it is located in the nucleus, and it is also surrounded by nuclear envelope, which is also known as nuclear membrane, and it is a dense region which is composed of DNA, RNA and proteins. RNA means, I already said you, ribonucleic acid. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. Ribonucleic acid and deoxyribonucleic acid, and also proteins. This nucleolus makes ribosomes. Ribosomes means what? I will say in this video. So just hit the like button and let us continue the lesson. Chromosomes. The chromosomes are located inside of the nucleus. The unraveled material from a chromosome that floats around in the nucleus is known as chromatin. Chromosomes contain the genetic information, DNA of the cell. The chromosomes are the code for all the functions that occur in a cell. So, where are these chromosomes located? In nucleus. So chromosomes are located in the nucleus. They have chromatin fibers and they contain DNA of the cell. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid, and they are the code for all functions in the cell. Nuclear pore. So the nuclear pore is a protein lined channel in the nuclear envelope. It regulates the transportation of the molecules between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. I already said about nuclear pore while I was explaining you about nuclear envelope. So it is a protein lined channel and it transports the molecules between the nucleus and cytoplasm. Again, I'm going to show you here. Nucleolus means the middle ball-like structure which is spherical in the middle, and the holes on the nucleus are nuclear pores, and outside covering is nuclear envelope. Inside that is chromatin. Endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is a network of membranous canals filled with fluid. They are the transport system of the cell, involved in transporting materials throughout the cell. So what is endoplasmic reticulum? It is an interconnected network of tubules and channels, and it is involved in the synthesis, storage and also transport of cell products in the cell. So you can see in the picture, this is endoplasmic reticulum. We have two types of endoplasmic reticulum again. So we have some difference between two types of endoplasmic reticulum. That's smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum means they are composed of cisternae, tubules, vesicles, and they are found throughout the cell and they are involved in protein manufacture. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they are the storage organelle which produces lipids, steroids, and they are responsible for detoxifying the cell. Rough endoplasmic reticulum contains ribosomes, whereas smooth endoplasmic reticulum do not contain ribosomes. Mitochondria. Mitochondria are also called the powerhouses of the cell as they produce energy-rich molecules for the cell. It is a double membrane-bound sausage-shaped organelle found in almost all eukaryotic cells. The double membranes divide its lumen into two distinct aqueous compartments. The inner compartment is called matrix, which is folded into cristae, whereas the outer membrane forms a continuous boundary with the cytoplasm. They usually vary in their size and are found either round or oval. Mitochondria are the sites of aerobic respiration in the cell, which produces energy in the form of ATP and helps in the transformation of the molecules. So what is the other name of mitochondria? Powerhouses of the cell. They produce energy rich molecules for the cell, and they also double membrane, spherical or rod shaped bodies. They are like sausage shaped organelle, okay, and they have some parts here. We can see outer membrane, inner membrane, and outer compartment, inner compartment. Inner compartment is known as matrix, whereas outer membrane forms a continuous boundary with the cytoplasm, okay, and they produces energy in the form of ATP. ATP means what? Adenosine triphosphate. They produce energy in the form of ATP. ATP's full form is adenosine triphosphate. Don't forget the full forms of RNA ribonucleic acid, DNA deoxyribonucleic acid, ATP adenosine triphosphate. Okay. Pigments are large membrane bound organelles which contain pigments. Okay, only these are present in plant cells, and they have three types based on the pigments. Plastids are of three types. Pigment means color. So first one, chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are double membrane bound organelles which usually vary in their shape from a disc shaped to spherical, oval and ribbon. Okay, and chromoplasts. The chloroplasts, so chloroplasts, they contain green pigment known as chlorophyll. They help plants in making food. And chromoplasts contain non-green pigments that give color to fruits and flowers. They include fat-soluble carotenoid pigments like xanthophylls, keratin, etc. Okay, they give colors to fruits and flowers like yellow, orange, red, etc. Leucoplasts. Leucoplasts are colorless plastids which store nutrients. They have no color, they are colorless, and they store food in the form of carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Not only whole leucoplast stores all the carbohydrates, fats and proteins, it has parts, three parts. Amyloplasts, they store carbohydrates like starch in potatoes, and eleuroplasts, they store proteins, and eleoplasts, they store oils and fats. So we have picture of chloroplasts. Chloroplasts, they also have some parts. Let us discuss about that. Chloroplasts are present in mesophyll of cells of leaves. So where are chloroplasts present in plants? They are present in mesophyll of cells of leaves. So these are responsible for trapping light energy for photosynthesis. So first let us come from the inner membrane. So inner membrane encloses a space called as stroma. We can see inner membrane, and inside inner membrane we have an enclosed space called as stroma. And we have flattened disc-like structures which are known as thylakoids, and they are arranged in a stacked manner. Okay, like how they are looking like pile of coins. Okay, if anyone see, they will think they are coins. Okay, like that. And each pile is known as granum. Every pile is granum, and they are different. And different means grana. Different grana are connected by flat membranous tubules which are known as stromal lamella. Okay, so granum is one, grana is plural. So different types of grana are connected. You can see some lines. They are connected with that tubules which are known as lamella, stromal lamella. Stroma of chloroplast contains DNA, ribosomes and enzymes also, which are needed for the synthesis of carbohydrates and proteins. Ribosomes. Ribosomes are found in the form of tiny particles in many cells and are mainly composed of 2/3 of RNA and 1/3 of protein. So ribosomes, where are they found? On endoplasmic reticulum. I already said you 2 times this point. You should never forget there are ribosomes present. And not only all the ribosomes are present on endoplasmic reticulum, some of them are also freely traced in the cytoplasm of the cell. Okay, some are on the rough endoplasmic reticulum and some are near on the freely they are on cytoplasm. So ribosome is composed of 2/3 of RNA. RNA means ribonucleic acid, and 1/3 of protein. The primary function of ribosomes includes protein synthesis in all living cells that ensure the survival of the cell. So they are small granular structures which are found in cytoplasm and endoplasmic reticulum. They are primary sites for protein synthesis. So sometimes we can see that endoplasmic reticulum, you can, without labeling, this picture is one, looking like one, it's one only, but some part of that is having ribosomes, some part is not having. So the some part which is not having is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Golgi apparatus. It was also known as Golgi complex or Golgi body. It is a membrane-bound organelle which is mainly composed of flattened stacked pouches called cisternae. This organelle is primarily responsible for transporting, packaging proteins and lipid to targeted destinations. It is mainly for transporting and packing. Golgi apparatus is found within the cytoplasm of a cell, and it is present in both plant and animal cells. And Golgi apparatus, it also helps in the formation of lysosomes. Centrosome and centrioles. Both centrioles and centrosomes are complicated cell structures which are essential for cell division. And the centrosome directs the movement of the chromosomes when a cell divides, and the centrioles help create the spindle of threads along which the duplicated chromosomes separate into the two new cells. So these are present only in animal cells, and centrosomes initiate and regulate cell division. So you can see mother centriole and daughter centriole, and we can know centrosome which are present only in animal cells. Vacuoles. Vacuoles are mostly defined as storage bubbles of irregular shapes which are found in cells. They are fluid-filled organelles enclosed by a membrane. They store food or a variety of nutrients that a cell might need to survive. In addition to this, it also stores waste products, and these waste products are thrown out by vacuoles. And the rest of the cell is protected from contamination. The animal and plant cell have different size and number of vacuoles. Compared to the animal, plant cells have larger vacuoles. So vacuoles are fluid filled spaces, okay, which is enclosed by a membrane, and they store excess water, useful minerals, pigments and many other substances. So large vacuoles are present in plant cells and they are small in animal cells, and many are present in animal cells. Lysosomes. Lysosomes contain chemical substances called enzymes, and it is a membrane-bound cell organelle that contains digestive enzymes. They are also known as suicidal bags of the cell. This is the main point to remember. They are also known as suicidal bags of the cell. A lysosome has three main functions: the breakdown or digestion of macromolecules. What are macromolecules? Carbohydrates, lipids, proteins and nucleic acids. And cell membrane repairs, and it responds against foreign substances such as bacteria, viruses and other antigens. So lysosomes, they are capable of digesting cells and have a variety of intra and extracellular materials. Intra means internal, inside. Extra means external, outside. In times of emergency, these lysosomes burst. So they are called as suicidal bags of the cell. And the materials which are needed to be destroyed are transported to the lysosomes. So friends, this is the animal cell and this is the plant cell. So let us once revise all the parts. First let us see the animal cell. We have lysosome at the top. Side of lysosome we have ribosomes. You can see the picture, small granules. And we have cilium, cell membrane, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, nuclear pore, nucleus, nucleolus, nucleoplasm, nuclear envelope, rough endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, cytoplasm, secretory vesicles, Golgi apparatus, perixome, centrosome and centriole. In plant cell we have cytoplasm, lysosome, mitochondria, vacuole, perixome, peroxisome, vesicle, Golgi apparatus, plasmodesma, cell wall, cell membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleus, nucleolus, nuclear envelope, nucleopore, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast, ribosomes, vacuole. And let us know the difference. So in plant cells we have cell wall, whereas in animal cells we don't have cell wall. In plant cells vacuoles are big, in animal cells vacuole is small. In plant cell only plastids are present and in animal cell plastids are absent. In animal cells we have centrioles and centrosome, but in plant cell they are absent. And vacuoles are larger in plant cells and they are smaller in animal cells. We have cell theory, which is proposed by two German scientists, M.J. Schleiden and Theodor Schwann. They stated that all living things are composed of cells. Cells are the basic units of structure and function for living things, and all cells come from pre-existing cells. We need to by heart, not learn also. We have to write exactly the points because they are the statements. Okay, learn them perfectly. You need to learn so that you can perform well whenever you have a test or anything. Differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. What is prokaryotic? What is eukaryotic? So, the cells of certain organisms lack a well-defined nucleus. Instead of that, they contain cytoplasm. Such cells that lack a well-defined nucleus surrounded by nuclear membrane are called prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells. Pro means primitive. Karyon means nucleus. So organisms that have such cells are called prokaryotes, and examples are bacteria and blue-green algae. So on the other hand, we have cells that have a well-defined nucleus which are called eukaryotic cells. Eu means true, karyon means nucleus. All organisms apart from bacteria, blue-green algae, viruses are eukaryotic cells. So differences let us know. Prokaryotic cell, nuclear membrane around nucleus is absent, whereas we have nuclear membrane around the nucleus in eukaryotic cell. Membrane bound cell organelles are absent in prokaryotic cell while they are present in eukaryotic cell. And prokaryotic cell mostly they are unicellular, but mostly eukaryotic cells are multicellular. And prokaryotic cell contains single chromosome, whereas eukaryotic cell contains more than one chromosome. Nucleolus is absent in prokaryotic cell while it is present in prokaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cell, cell division occurs by mitosis, whereas it occurs by both mitosis and meiosis in eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells are generally small and eukaryotic are large. Examples I already said you, bacteria and blue-green algae for prokaryotic, and eukaryotes, fungi, plants, animals, all except bacteria, blue-green algae and viruses. Let us have a small short recap what we have learned about cell organelles in this video. Cell membrane. It is a double membrane which is composed of lipids and proteins, and it is present both in plant and animal cell. It provides shape, protects the inner organelle of the cell, and it acts as a selectively permeable membrane. Centrosomes, they are composed of centrioles, and they are only found in animal cells. And they play a major role in the organizing of the microtubule and cell division. Chloroplasts, they are present only in plant cell, and they contain green colored pigment which is known as chlorophyll. And they are sites of photosynthesis. Cytoplasm, it is a jelly-like substance which consists of water, dissolved nutrients and waste products of the cell. It is responsible for cells' metabolic activities. If you want to just note down all these points, you can just pause the video, note down all the points, then again see the video. Endoplasmic reticulum, a network of membranous tubules present within the cytoplasm of a cell, forms the skeletal framework of the cell, which is involved in detoxification, production of lipids and proteins. Golgi apparatus, membrane-bound sac-like organelles present within the cytoplasm of the eukaryotic cells, and it is mainly involved in the secretion and intracellular transport. Lysosomes, a tiny circular shaped single membrane bound organelles filled with digestive enzymes. Helps in the digestion and removes waste and digests dead and damaged cells. Therefore, it is known as suicidal bags. Instead of pausing, you can also just take a screenshot of the screen. Well, you can copy it later, or just read it once so that you can remember, or listen to me, I'm reading it out. Mitochondria, it is an oval shaped membrane bound cell organelle, which is also known as powerhouse of the cell. The main sites of cellular respiration and involved in the storing energy in the form of ATP molecules. Nucleus, largest double membrane bound organelles which contains all the cell's genetic information. It controls the activity of the cell, helps in cell division and controls the hereditary characters. Plastids, double membrane bound organelles. There are three types of plastids. Leucoplast, which means they are colorless plastids. Chromoplasts, they are blue, red and yellow color plastids. Chloroplasts, green colored plastids. They help in the process of photosynthesis, pollination, imparts color for leaves, flowers and fruits, and stores starch, proteins and fats. Ribosomes, non-membrane organelles, they are involved in the synthesis of proteins, and they are found floating freely in the cell cytoplasm or embedded within the endoplasmic reticulum. Vacuoles, a membrane-bound fluid-filled organelle found within the cytoplasm, provides shape and rigidity to the plant cell and helps in the digestion, excretion and storage of substances. So friends, we have completed this video, and we are just perfect. We just completed this chapter, which is very confusing, and now it might be very easier because you have listened thoroughly to the lesson. And in every video's ending, I ask you some questions. You all comment me down and say, but today I have not asked you any question. Let me find out a question and ask you. Let me ask two questions. The first question is, what is the, just listen to carefully, what is the full form of DNA? What is the full form of DNA? The second one is, what is the full form of ATP? Write the full forms of DNA and ATP in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and press the bell icon and comment, and also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Links are given in the description box. So it's time to complete this video. So thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye.